Hello everyone. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss about the optimum detector using coherent detection. So previously we saw some of the basic geometric representation. Then we had a brief idea about the Schwarz and charge inequality and the Gram-Schmidt organization procedure. So all that procedure and with the help of that conversion of AWG to our bandwidth, everything we saw it. Now we are going to see how we can detect this thing and how with the help of a coherent detection, and that also optimum detection, not any kind of a noise. So that is the first one, the maximum optimum receivers using coherent detection, and the first one is the maximum likelihood decoding. The set of outputs of the correlators constitutes a vector capital X, where small x is equals to Si plus W, where I is equals to 1, 2, so on up to capital M. That's equation 1. Vectors X and W are sample values of random vectors capital X and W respectively. Also, Si is the vector representing the signal Si of t, and the tip of this is a point in the n-dimensional Euclidean space. The coordinates of this vector Si is also as transmitted signal point. The received signal x of t can also be represented as a vector capital X whose tip is a point in the n-dimensional Euclidean space. This point is called the received signal point. Vector capital X itself is called observation vector. The location of the received signal point is shown in figure 6. This is coming up in the next slide. Because of the presence of noise, the received signal point wanders about the message point in a completely random fashion. So this is how we are trying to, we are taking up a signal and we are making it as some of the observation vector, and some we are going to locate it, and we are also seeing that we are checking for the presence of this noise and how it is affecting the received signal point. So that is what we are trying to check. This is the graph, just we are trying to justify the relationship between the observation vector and the signal vector. So this is where we are received the thing, and due to the presence of this noise, where this message point is being present. So here this observation vector, what we are expecting and but what we are getting is like this one. You can see here the pi1 is one axis and pi2 is another, pi3 is another axis. So this is what the difference what is causing by the noise vector that we call as the AWGN. We have to eradicate this noise and then we have to represent it. One more, that is that if you take it in terms of the noise cluster, as we use it in the pattern recognition, we are taking a noise cloud here and taking a certain expectation points so that it doesn't affect our efficiency. This is same as this one, but this receive point has been illustrated here. We are taking as the noise sound present around the signal. How to eradicate this one is a big challenge. Given the observation vector x, capital X, performing mapping from small x to an estimate m cap of mj in a way that would minimize the average probability of symbol error in the decision making process. Given the observation vector x, suppose we make the decision m cap is equals to mi. That is what we are estimated, and what we are given is equals to c. So this is what the observation vector. Then the probability of error in their decision denoted as Pe of mi of x is Pe of mi of x is sent is equals to probability of mi not sent of x when of a signal x, that is equals to 1 minus probability of mi sent of equation x. To minimize probability of error of mi signal or estimation of mi or a signal sent from the mi is of x, the p probability of mi sent of x is made more or maximized. Made more or maximized. We may state optimum decision rule is set m cap is equals to mi if probability of mi sent of x greater than or equal to probability of mk sent of x for all k not equal to I, where k is equals to 1, 2, so on up to capital M. The decision rule is referred to as maximum of posteriori probability, maximum posteriori probability rule. In short, we say it as a MAP rule. The MAP rule may be restated in terms of a prior probability using Bayes theorem as probability of mi sent of x of signal x, that is equals to probability of x of mi sent or probability of mi divided by probability of x. This may be represented using likelihood function set m cap is equals to mi if pi k into fx of mi divided by fx of x is maximum for k is equals to I. Here pi k is equals to pi I when all source symbols are equiprobable denominator. Fx of x is independent of transmitted symbol, and fx of x of mi has one-to-one relationship to log likelihood function, that is capital L of mk. Now based on this, we can restate the decision rules in terms of capital L of mk as set m cap is equals to mi if L of mk is maximum for k is equals to I. This is known as maximum likelihood rule. This is known as maximum likelihood rule. For graphical interpretation of a maximum likelihood decision rule, let Z denote the n-dimensional space of all possible vectors x. This observation space Z is divided or partitioned into m decision regions denoted by Z1, Z2, so on up to Z capital M. Accordingly, we may restate the decision rule as observation vector x lies in region Zi if capital L of Mk is maximum for k is equals to I. We know that capital L of Mk is equals to minus 1 by n naught summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus skj the whole square, where k is equals to 1 comma 2 comma so on up to capital M. Thus L of Mk is maximum when summation term is summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus xkj the whole square is minimized by the choice k is equals to 3. Sorry, k is equals to 1. Accordingly, we may formulate maximum likelihood decision rule for an AWGN channel as observation vector x lies in region Zi if summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus xkj the whole square is minimum for k is equals to I. We know that the summation of j is equals to 1 to n of xj minus skj the whole square, that is equals to the capital X minus sk the whole square, the mod of x of the mod of x capital X minus sk the whole square. This is nothing but the Euclidean distance between capital X and sk. Accordingly, we restate the decision rule as observation vector capital X lies in region Zi if Euclidean distance of a capital X x minus sk mod of x minus xk, which is the Euclidean distance, that is minimum for k is equals to I. Now, the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus skj the whole square is equals to the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N xj the square minus 2 summation of 2 into summation of j is equals to 1 capital N of xj into skj plus summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xkj the whole square is equals to ek. But what is this? This term is equivalent to the independent of k with respect to xk, hence ignored here. This term is nothing but the inner product of x capital X and sk, and this is the transmitter signal energy which is equal to the ek. So now you can write again the equation, we can simplify it, that the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus skj the whole square is equals to the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj the whole square minus 2 into the summation of j is equals to 1 to n capital N of xj into skj minus half summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of skj the whole square. That is equal to the summation of j is equals to 1 to up to n capital N xj the whole square minus 2 into the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj into skj minus half into capital ek. This is what we have subtracted from here. From the above expression, the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj minus skj the whole square is minimum when the summation of j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj into skj minus half into ek is maximum for k is equals to I. Thus, accordingly, we may restate the maximum likelihood decision rule as observation vector x lies in the region zi if the summation j is equals to 1 to capital N of xj into skj minus half into ek is maximum for k is equals to 1 where capital Ek is transmitted signal energy. This is what was the theoretical explanation. Now we'll look at the problems there. For example, if we consider m is equals to 4, n is equals to 2. We have the 4 domains here, that is pi 1 minus pi 1, pi 2 minus pi 2. These are the different message points here. Square root of e, square root of e, minus square root of e, minus square root of e. This is message 1, message point 2, message point 3, message point 4. So we are taking it as a decision boundary which is equivalent across this one and another equation decision boundary across this one. So looking at this as a theoretical part, and if we try to compare this one, it would be of the same one. Try to look at it and try to analyze this one. So how we are taking a maximum likelihood function and how we are taking it to detect the signal in order to go into for the error there. If a signal lies something expected here, if it comes here, so we consider it as this point, like this point. If it is in a signal point here, or present here or in this region, we consider as the message point here. Similarly for this message point also, if any message point is here, we consider that this message point, and here also in the region O. So after the observation, what we saw in the estimation, or we call as the received signal and the given signal, observation signal or the sent signal, we can analyze that, we can make it as a noise cloud here presence, and we can take a centroid or the equilibration distance, and we can take an average of that one and try to approximate it to a nearest value. And decision boundaries has been allocated so that we can have we can analyze and we can have a threshold value to generate or to have a noise cloud. Decision region boundary, another decision region boundary has been allocated for all the 4 regions. So here the regions are Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. This is how we do it. We can look at it and we can analyze. So what was the theoretical explanation and what we are expecting it here. So we can analyze how to do the optimum detection here, and this is also we did it by the coherent detection method only, and need not too much worry about how it is done in the system. Thus we need to know with the help of the equation, we need to generalize it. You can look at this graph also. So whatever the explanation was in the previous slides, everything, you can analyze it with this one example with respect to the noise cloud center. Okay, that's it from this video. Thank you.